everyone to LCI Melbourne's first virtual open day. My name's Garrick. I'm an admissions advisor here at LCI Melbourne, and I'm here with Karen Webster, our Dean, today. So we're very excited to welcome you to our lovely campus. Today we're going to introduce you to LCI Melbourne, our programs and the student experience. We'll also go over our admission requirements, how to prepare your portfolio, and talk to you about our interactive online learning platforms. So we'll be taking questions as well. Please feel free to leave them in the chat column, and we will organise some time at the end to go over those and discuss them. And do feel free to email or text us as well. You'll see at the end there'll be a phone number and contact details if you want to have a chat with any of our admissions staff or our academic staff. So let me introduce you all to our Dean, Karen. So Karen's an acclaimed design innovator, advocate and leader in Australia's creative industry. She's got 4 decades of experience under her belt and has held prominent sector roles such as the Festival Director of the Melbourne Fashion Festival, the Design Director at Buzz. She's also got over 25 years experience in the education system, working at RMIT University in senior leadership roles, and has worked as a fashion designer in London, Sydney and Melbourne, and was also an inductee of the 2012 Fashion Hall of Fame. So please welcome Karen.
Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to LCI. We're here on our awesome campus, which is based in Collingwood, but you might be watching us from anywhere in the world. And that's one of the things we actually love about LCI. We can connect with you wherever you are, whether you're at home, in your bedrooms, your lounge rooms, or you're here on our campus. Do you know we're fast becoming probably one of the world's most exciting design schools, and we're part of 23 campuses around the world, and we've got 17,000 students, but I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about who we are, where we are. So our campus here is in a heritage listed building. It's absolutely exquisite. And we're here deliberately because we're in the heart of the cool of Collingwood, which is based in Melbourne. And we absolutely love it because it kind of captures the spirit of who we are. And whether you join us either on campus or in the virtual space, that is the energy that we exude. What we love about this area is, you know, it's got real street cred. It's got beautiful street art. Smith Street, which is just up the road, has got some of the most awesome cafes and food outlets. A lot of our students frequent many of the vintage clothing stores and a few of the staff as well to put their gear on. We're also into looking after ourselves and looking after our staff and students. There's wonderful things like yoga studios that we've got around the area. There's a plethora of architecture and design studios, which is perfect for us because most of those who are based in those studios come in and they work with our students and connect with us all the time. Collingwood is renowned for its contemporary art galleries, so we've got that spirit of the creative industries right here. You might have heard of things like the Gertrude Projection Festival and the many street festivals that happen all around this area. Also, for many years, Collingwood's been the base for so many amazing live music venues. You know, for those students who are on campus, often they might deliberately stay back late so that then they can go on to one of the many gigs in the area. So we use this kind of the spirit of what Collingwood is and to inspire our students. You know, here we've got Frankie, one of our students, who's, you know, using the inspiration of the environment around her in her work. Our staff come from all over the world, but all over Melbourne because they love coming to this particular space to work. So welcome to LCI Melbourne. Here we are in the heart of Collingwood today, and we welcome you to our campus in whichever way you are connecting with us. I'm going to now, you're probably asking actually, why LCI? Who are LCI? So let me tell you a little bit about what makes us unique. First and foremost, we're quite different from a lot of other tertiary institutes because we are really personal. We find the strengths of every individual student. We find your forte, and then we help you work on that, build on it, develop it. We challenge you in it, and you then, as a result of all of that, can go on the best career path that is viable. We have intimate class sizes. We're renowned for a lot of one-on-one mentoring, however you connect with us. So at LCI, you can curate your own career path. Secondly, I'd say we are innovators. Now, I know a lot of institutes say they're innovative, but we really lead the charge, especially here in Australia. We're a design degree like no other. We are a truly collaborative degree. We're a Bachelor of Design Arts. And what you can do with us is you can mix whatever you like. If you love fashion and you want to mix it with film, if you want to do interiors and mix it with visual arts, you can. Our staff are all practicing artists and designers. They are all working in the field, and we often use the line, they're mentors in the classroom, but icons in the industry. The third thing that is really distinctive about LCI is we are global. We are truly global. We're proud of our heritage. We were founded in Canada in 1959, so we have a really rich history. Across the world, 23 global campuses, 17,000 students. That makes us the size of a small university. So that gives us real breadth and depth. But what it does also is we are bespoke. We're small here in Melbourne. So you get the best of both worlds. You get all of the infrastructure and resources that a larger group provides, but you actually get that small, bespoke, one-on-one experience. And the fourth thing I'd probably mention is that we're really contemporary. Besides our state-of-the-art campus and facilities and being a really independent design school, we know our industry. We're contemporary in that we are really, really well connected. We work within our industry and we support our industry. And those connections are absolutely vital for helping you have a career in the creative fields. But maybe don't just listen to what I have to say. You know, I absolutely love LCI. Maybe have a listen to what some of our students have to say.
If I had to describe my experience at LCI Melbourne, I'd say that it's inspiring.
Definitely challenging, I think, because we are constantly being pushed. I've definitely had a lot of fun over the last few years. LCI Melbourne is very empowering.
Whatever I contribute, hold my body and spirit into that line. I see myself through my line. Even you're making little painting using whole body.
What's special about LCI Melbourne to me is the one-on-one time with our tutors.
The class sizes are smaller.
It becomes really tailored to you and what direction you want to go with your career.
So usually you fix first, neckline, point, and you will pin always in this direction.
The facilities are amazing.
We have an amazing studio for shooting film and photography.
There's visual arts room, there's also editing room.
Everything here is tailored to all of the different majors, but it also inspires other people to work together.
I feel like LCI Melbourne is going to be my little bubble where I can express my creativity and just be crazy about my work.
There's this community of understanding and the want to build each other up.
The push for me to come to LCI Melbourne was their global network.
If you want to do, say for example, studying abroad, I think that's fantastic because we've got so many of our campuses around the world.
It really develops a mindset and a culture of you need to be the best you can be, and we believe in you to do that.
I want to challenge people to view art and design differently. It's more than just art. We have the power to change the world. I'm ready.
So let me tell you a little bit about what you can study here at LCI in Melbourne. First, about our Bachelor of Design Arts, and I mentioned before, it's a purely unique degree because it blends across the design and creative industries. So when you come in, you get to actually explore all different options and then it's specialised. And the kind of areas where you can have the opportunity to specialise, either in one or across different ones, are fashion and costume design, film and photography, graphic and digital design, interior design, and visual arts. And the beauty of this whole mix of different creative disciplines, you can either purely focus on one or you can blend them all together. Let me explain a little bit about how our BDA works, our Bachelor of Design Arts works. So trimester 1, I call the fun trimester. You come in and you truly explore. Our students get to do a whole series of workshops across different creative fields. And even though you might be focused on one area, the opportunity to spread across these different fields is only going to add to your portfolio of ideas as you then progress through the degree. Trimester 2 to 3 is all about understanding the foundations of your chosen field. So once you choose an area that you want to specialise in, you really start to deep dive into it. But you can also take up classes in some of the other areas as well, so you mix them together. But you do all the foundations, but you also do things like global projects. So we get to work with students from across the world at all our other campuses, or you might be given a project from an international company who actually you have to then pitch to. We also look at all of the big issues that are impacting creative industries today. We look at things like responsible innovation, how to be sustainable. We look at mindfulness and well-being. We look at the environment and the world we're living in at the moment, and how do we respond to that in a creative way. By the time you get to your final trimesters, trimester 4 to 6, you really start to specialise. And we do laboratories, and you really spend quite a significant amount of time understanding your art and your craft and your design discipline. And you start to work with industry so that you're prepared to go out in that world and be really equipped to get a job. And by the final trimester, we focus on you. What is your personal creative ethos? What do you want to do? How do we build something that you're going to be proud of as part of your portfolio when you launch into the world? We also are so proud that this June, we've still got a few places, Garrick, haven't we, for June for all of our programs. So this June we're launching 4 new diplomas. Now these are higher education diplomas, so they're premium diplomas within the education space. And they go for 3 trimesters, which is 1 year. And this is a real opportunity to specialise, to really focus on an area that you're interested in. You might want to take our diploma in fashion design or fashion styling. We've got some of Australia's leading fashion stylists working with us. Graphic design or interior design. And how does this work? You do 3 trimesters, but because it's a higher education diploma, if you then want to go on to our degree, you can segue, you get credit against 3 trimesters, you go straight into trimester 4 of our degree. So that means there's more than one way to come through. And many people will take the diplomas because they want to try it out and test it first. And that's absolutely fine. In fact, talking about trying and testing, one of the things we're really proud about that you can do is that you can do online single units. You can take just 1 unit of something that we're offering and try it out. And especially in our current environment, sometimes we want to have an opportunity to be creative and really test something. So you can take one of our units in creative thinking and design and culture, or one of our workshops, one of our more business units, and try it out. And if you love it, and we know you're going to, you can then get credit against that particular unit if you decide to go on and do one of our diplomas or one of our degrees.
Amazing.
It is, it's absolutely great. So there's a whole breadth of things you can do, but because we're specialised in art and design, creative industries, that's what we know, and we can help you. In fact, one of the things I'd like to talk about now is introduce you to our Director of Digital Experience here in Australia, Murray. And Murray's going to explain a little bit about the different ways that we can work here.
Thank you so much, Karen. I'm so excited to be leading LCI Melbourne in the digital space. But you know what I'm really even more thrilled about is that we're able to announce that we have 3 new delivery modes for all of our programs. Those 3 modes are on campus, online, or known as e-learning, and our blended model. Our on-campus experience is amazing. When you walk into this space, there's an energy about it. The students live and breathe this space, and it's directly translated into their own creative practice. Our online or e-learning mode of delivery has been curated in a one-of-a-kind virtual experience. It is personal one-on-one mentoring, interactive workshops that are happening in real time, and with a host of engaging learning resources. So engaging that sometimes we almost have to beg our students to hop out of the digital classroom. And then when you can't even decide whether or not you want to be on campus or you want to be in the online or the e-learning space, you can have it all in our blended mode of delivery. So it might be, you know, mornings in your pajamas, cup of coffee in hand, already joining in one of our virtual studios and being able to create that next artistic masterpiece. Or then you're coming onto campus in the afternoon and you find yourself, you know, in a lively discussion with our students up in the breakout space on the latest design trend. You really can have it all.
How exciting, isn't it? One of the things that I absolutely love, I suppose the thing I most love about LCI is our students, because they inspire us every day. But those students themselves are inspired by our amazing mentors. And we are so fortunate to have the most incredible academic staff on our team. And we do call them mentors. And you know, we say, as I said before, mentors in the classroom, icons in our industry, but their achievements are phenomenal. We've got Archibald Prize finalists, more than one in our team. We've got award-winning graphic designers, and so our staff really are experts in their field. And talking about experts in the field, the other area that we really are proud of is our connection with industry. And we work with all of the peak industry bodies such as AGDA, the Australian Graphic Design Association. We work with the Australian Fashion Council, and they have their meetings and major events here. We also host the Design Institute of Australia, which is the peak industry body for the design industries. We work with local galleries. We've launched a partnership with the First Nation Fashion Design body, who are the first peak industry body to represent our First Nation peoples in the creative industries here in fashion design. We also work really closely with the National Gallery of Victoria, who anyone who's been to the NGV here in Melbourne knows it's the premium gallery in Australia. We especially get involved with them through Melbourne Design Week, and we run events, as we do also with the Melbourne Fashion Festival every year. So we're really proud of our industry engagement, industry relationships. I now want to, I bet we've sparked your interest a little bit of, you know, okay, this is interesting, exciting, what do I do? If I really want to come and be part of LCI, how do I apply? Well, no one better to help us with that than Garrick. So Garrick, do you want to take people through the admissions process?
Thanks, Karen, for sure. So hello again, creatives. So I hope you're getting very excited about everything that we do here at LCI. I'm going to go through some of the requirements of if you do want to join us. So our intakes, so you know, are in February, June and September. And as Karen mentioned, we are still taking applications for June at the moment. So we've got a few weeks left to get those through if you do want to join us soon. So let me start off by saying the application information that we'll give you now is all on our website as well. So don't feel like you need to write it all down now. We'll just go through it and then you can touch base if you want to. So the first document you need to provide is your Year 12 certificate or equivalency. So We don't look at what your ATAR was, we just want to know that you've finished high school. And if you haven't, that doesn't sort of lock you out either. We can still have a look at your work experience, any other sort of further studies you might have done after attending school as well. We'll then ask you for your ID. Generally, we suggest you go for a passport because that does cover two of the bases which we look at, which is your photo ID as well as your citizenship, because we have a lot of students who join us here and utilise fee help for their study. The next thing, and probably the most important thing and exciting thing for us to see, is your creative portfolios. So we suggest about sort of 6 to 8 pieces that you're really passionate about and really enjoy, and maybe some notes about, you know, your design processes that you've gone through, what inspires you, and I guess what sort of challenges you came across as well. So we really want to see how you create, because that's really exciting to us. Now, if you don't have a creative portfolio, and it's going to be a little bit close to you to make one, we can also have a look at a pre-selection design brief for you too. And we'll use that to ascertain the same sort of things. So your creative processes, how you design, we'll give you a brief which will give you some cues to work from, and then we'll see how you sort of integrate your inspirations and passion and work from there. Now, the last thing that we need is to have a look at if you're an international. We have a couple of things that we look at as well. So first of all, that you're able to study with us with your study visa. So if you don't have a study visa already in place, we can look at getting you a confirmation of enrolment. And once your trimester is all sorted, we will send you out one so that you can organise your visa. You also need proof of English proficiency. So that's the IELTS, and that's of 6 or above, and no band below 5.5. And then the last thing that we have a look at for you is just your evidence of financial capability to complete your studies here, because we want to see you go through the whole journey. So I'm now going to introduce LCI's Creative Director and Design Workshop Mentor, Michael Peck, and he's going to chat to you a little bit more about those creative portfolios that we were speaking about, just so you really know what to pop in those.
Hi Karen.
Hi Michael.
And hello everyone, thanks for coming to our open day today. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about your folios. I still remember sitting nervously across the desk from art school interviewers and worrying whether my work would be good enough. We all love the work we make, so showing it to others can sometimes be a really daunting experience, but please know that we're here to guide you through the process. We know you love your work and we know you're creative. What we'd love to know is how we can help you flourish. So here are some tips. Select your best work, the works that you are passionate about, the work you connect with. If you're enthusiastic about your work, we will be too. Show your diversity by picking a range of works that show experimentation with different ideas, tools and mediums. It doesn't need to all look the same. We actually like it when your work shows us that you can do a range of different things. Choose works you can speak about and practice talking about them before your interview. Bring some developmental work, those little sketches, models, photographs and videos, the things that you make in the middle of the night when you can't sleep. We love to see that stuff. Tell us about artists, movies, styles, ideas you've been inspired by. We know you may be nervous, but don't worry. We're here to offer you all the advice you need to lead up to your interview. Call us beforehand, ask questions. We want you to walk in confidently and really feel like you can talk to us about what you do. We really love portfolios at LCI. We encourage our students to create the strongest ones that they possibly can, and we're really proud of them. And that's why we've also created a global portfolio network. This is the place where our students get to place their work where it gets to be seen by everyone in the world. It's up there with the work by all of our other campuses, and it's a great opportunity for you to be able to put your work in front of everyone, the best work that you've made while you've been here. And one of the most important things is that it is a really great opportunity for you to start your career. People get offered jobs on the network by having their work there and having it seen. Thank you.
Fantastic, Michael. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So now I'm going to introduce you to a woman who's inspirational here at LCI, and it's Zoe. And Zoe heads up our student experience team. So you will all get to know Zoe when you come and join LCI, whether you join us virtually or on campus. So I thought, Zoe, what we might do today, if it's okay, is I ask you a few questions, because I'm really fascinated in your job. You sit at the front of everything, you get to know all the students. What would be a typical day in the student support, with the student support team?
I wouldn't say there is a typical day in the student support section, and I think that's basically because we work with a bunch of creatives, and a lot of us, I think, walk to the beat of our own drum. So everyone has their own unique needs, and that could be anything from they want me to change the music at the front desk to they will need a time management workshop or career advice. I like to do class drop-ins to check out all of the talented students' works. And then we also do things like student clubs. We sit with the Student Representative Council and we discuss ideas and feedback of how we can build our community. We really want our students to have their own voice. We also have an anonymous feedback box, which I check every day and try and action those to better the experience for the students.
You're pretty lucky, actually. I watch what you do in awe, actually, because I think you're amazing and the whole team are incredible that support you. And I know you're working on some pretty exciting things at the moment. What kind of things are you working on at the moment?
So as we're coming up to the end of trimester, I'm working really closely with some students that are at risk, obviously special circumstance students as well. My priority is, the success and well-being of the students, so that is a main focus currently. But it's also a very exciting time for us because we've got new intake coming up. So we've got welcome packs that are getting organised to send out to students.
Very lucky students coming in getting their packs.
Yeah. Also phone calls to get them set up on their virtual space, to introduce myself as next point of call, as well as trying to roll out high achiever awards for this trimester as well.
It's so important, isn't it, really? If you think about it, you support those students who have challenges and need a lot of help, but we also support those that are flourishing because we look after everybody. So, in the last 12 months, I've watched some of the most exciting things because we're a real community here at LCI. What are some of the probably most fun things that you've been doing in the last 12 months?
I think we have the most amazing gallery. So there's so many fun activities that go on in there. But student support, we host a lot of social and engagement activities for the students and staff. It can be anything from everyone loves food. So we've had pizza. We've had smashed avocado days.
Well, we are in Melbourne, so we have smashed avocado
exactly.
days.
Barbecues, we obviously offer vegan options and all those sorts of things. Halloween is one of my favourites, where everyone gets dressed up and we have a competition. We also have a pumpkin carving competition, which is really fun.
And when creative people carve pumpkins, they are incredible pumpkins.
They are indeed. Lego challenges. We also believe, we are our own creative community here. So we really want to do some charity events and give back to our community. So we did a community challenge where we actually donated money to the homeless shelter around the corner. But then there's also everyone's favourite, Mario Kart. We had Nicholas Diaz, who is one of our fantastic filmmaking and photography students, film a little segment on that. So I don't know if we want to play.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see the Mario Kart film by Nicholas. isn't that awesome? We do really amazing things here, both on campus, but through the virtual space, we do a lot of activities to support our students. We thought what would be really great today is to give you a sense of what LCI is about, get to see some of the incredible student work that we do. So now I'm going to introduce another one of our admissions advisors, Matt, who's going to take you on a virtual tour of our campus, our gallery, our studios, and you're going to hear from some of our mentors who teach into our programs, and you get to know a lot more of what we're about. Enjoy it.
Hi, my name's Matt Kavanagh, and I'm proud to be part of the admissions team here at LCI Melbourne. This simply means I'm here to help out people who wish to explore study options with us. Today, I'm going to give you a quick tour of our great campus, pointing out some of the studios, spaces and facilities available to our students. LCI Melbourne covers design areas as diverse as graphic and digital design, filmmaking and photography, visual arts, interior design, fashion and costume design, and communication design. We encourage our students to produce ambitious work that develops skills across one or more of these areas. When we get to the studios of these areas, I'll throw across to the talented and friendly coordinators of each section so you can hear a little bit about what they do. There's a lot to see, so let's start. So, we're here in the lobby. On our right, you'll see the wonderful mural by Smug, a leading international street artist. As soon as you walk into the lobby, you'll get a feel for the building and the community inside. Everything's very open with great natural light. The Foy and Gibson building, which houses our campus, was long ago a textile mill, and if you look closely you can see the interesting mix of the 165-year-old structure and the beautiful work done in the last few years to renovate it into 3 floors of classrooms, creative studios and galleries. The gallery is on your left as soon as you walk in and visible to passers-by through the many windows. There's always something interesting going on down here. We've had catwalk shows, bands, visiting artists have exhibited here, our own teachers showcase their work, and our students all have multiple opportunities to exhibit here. Here is our gallery director, Michael Peck. Michael's a globally renowned visual artist and curator. He's an Archibald Prize finalist and the winner of the NGV Trustees Award. Galleries from Berlin to San Francisco, Los Angeles to Sydney and New York to Hong Kong have all showcased his works. Michael works closely with our students, providing insight and guidance through his deep understanding of the arts industry. Hi, Michael.
Thanks, Matt. Welcome to our gallery. This is where we showcase and experience the best that artists and designers create. We host exhibitions for students, academics and alumni, as well as local and international acclaimed artists and designers. We've shown work from Milan, Amsterdam, New York and Los Angeles, as well as collaborating with the Melbourne Fashion Festival and the National Gallery of Victoria. This is an exciting time for art and design, and we are proud to have such a great space to discuss and debate its relevance in the world today. The exhibition you see now was created and curated by our own visual arts students. It shows some of the diverse mediums and ideas that our students explore. It also demonstrates our focus to help students develop their own style and identity as artists and designers.
Adjacent to the gallery is the cyclorama. The cyclorama is a space that's tailor-made for studio photography. You'll see the wall and floor are joined with a gentle curve, and the lights are balanced so that any photos taken in here appear that the subject matter is just on a flat, white background. This lets you dress the space any way you want and layer and process digitally to your heart's content. Even if you don't come on board as a filmmaking and photography student, you'll have access to these resources to learn the skills involved and ensure that your folio pieces are beautifully shot. Max Amner is our coordinator for film and photography. Before coming to LCI Melbourne, Max spearheaded new web developments and media campaigns in the UK and disrupted the European advertising market. Max's focus in education is to utilise all forms of design techniques and digital technologies in order to create solutions that suit the modern design industry. Hi Max.
Hello Matt. In film and photography, we focus on the contemporary evolution of visual content creation. Each design lab builds on a working knowledge of how to tell stories and deliver messages with an eye for elegant production value. Film and photography at LCI Melbourne focus on the future trends in lens-based media production and challenges students to integrate traditional image capturing skills with cutting-edge digital production, including augmented reality, screencasting, and 2- and 3-dimensional animated compositions. At LCI Melbourne, you will learn to collaborate with other design disciplines, so you will learn to apply your skills in film photography to work with creative teams. We will equip you with the essential skills to begin a successful career in an ever-connected world.
So, up the stairs to level 1. On our left is the student support desk. While the campus is large, we keep the student and class numbers fairly small. This means that we have the ability to lend wonderful support to our students, both as individuals and as artists. If you ever need anything, stop past here for a friendly chat. The campus is decked out with multiple computer labs. We have recent model Macs here, all of which have full licenses to the entire Adobe suite, so there'll never be a time when our students are stuck waiting for a computer. No matter what you study, we'll ensure you leave with a strong grasp of the industry standard software for the design industry. Whether you're looking to be a heavily digital artist or keep to a more traditional medium, we want our graduates to have all the tools they need for success. Here we are in the foyer. Standing here, you can see all 3 floors, and you get a feel for how open and light-filled the space is. All of the studios have glass fronts, and that's a purposeful decision, as no matter what major you study, we want all of our students to not be restricting their work or their interests to their major alone. You can always see what's happening in each of the studios, as there's no reason that you, as perhaps a visual artist or a fashion designer, might not take inspiration from a different area, such as interior design or graphic design. Speaking of graphic design, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Barry Spencer. He's a legibilitator, speculator, type designer and doctor. And while the word legibilitator is his own made-up title, it does draw attention to the fact that he's a very innovative and curious designer and educator. How are you, Barry?
Thanks, Matt. I'm doing well. Welcome to the Graphic and Digital Design major. Here we focus on translating messages, ideas, concepts, promotion, problems, and a range of other things into visual communication and design. Graphic and digital design has the ability to make complicated ideas or problems more understandable and make everyday, mundane, or less interesting things more visually appealing and evocative. Through learning and engaging with software such as the Adobe Creative Suite, you can explore a wide range of diverse specialties or areas, from visual identity, branding, packaging, type design, typography, layout and poster publication design, through to web and app design, animation, illustration, and information design. As you can see, there's a bunch of places that graphic and digital design can take you, so come and give it a go.
The visual arts end of the building comes in a few sections. We have the teaching area, and that leads to the visual arts pods. Each pod is a workspace that's assigned to an individual student to be used throughout their studies. No need to pack up your work each night or try to transport it home and bring it back. Just walk in, pick up your brush, pencils or sculpting materials and pick up where you left off. The final element to the visual arts area is this large open studio that hosts a mix of activities. If you want an open space with brilliant natural light for a photo shoot, a painting, sculpture or a showcase, this room will allow you to work without needing to rein in the size or ambition of your creations. Here, I'll throw to Michelle Mancio to explore a little deeper. She's a champion of experimental art, having created exquisite global projects for the internationally renowned Future Academy, Metronome Press, Yellow Brick, Kinematics, and contributes to Melbourne writing collective STUM. Michelle, what can you tell us about visual arts at LCI?
Hello, welcome to Visual Art. Our visual art major aims to develop your unique arts practice. You can work in any medium, any style, and in any approach. Our aim is to get you doing the best version of it. Our teachers are experienced practicing artists and will mentor you through workshops, demonstrations, and lectures. We cover drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpture, installation, textiles, video, writing, performance, and everything in between. We help you engage with the art industry, exhibition practices, and theory through gallery visits and talks, internships, and your own experience in organising shows. We want you to think independently and develop a successful arts practice. It is a really exciting time to be an artist, and this is the perfect place to start the journey.
The interior design room is equally great with its natural light and open spaces. Here we have equipment and instruction that will let you explore designs for domestic spaces, but goes beyond that into any project requiring design for a built environment. If you're looking at styling for photo shoots, doing a physical art installation piece, perhaps staging a film shoot or a piece for stage, or styling an event or gallery show, we have everything you need here to support you in producing wonderful spaces. Let me now introduce you to Petrina Turner, one of our truly brilliant interior design teachers. Petrina is the designer, stylist and maker behind multidisciplinary practice Petrina Turner Designs. As well as being a not-so-secret tap dancer, Petrina believes in creating designs with exceptional detail, integrity, joy, and a little of the unexpected. She's a contributor to interior media publications, she often speaks at design events, and she's an incredibly talented and passionate design educator. Hi Petrina.
Thanks Matt. Welcome to our fabulous Interior Design Lab. Here, you will learn to conceptualise, develop, and create engaging and dynamic spaces with a focus on responsible design. You will develop an understanding of clients' needs, both residential and commercial. We'll assist you in space planning, detailing, and creation of interiors with a focus on storytelling and human-centred design. You'll investigate styles and trends and use cutting-edge technology to produce a professional portfolio that represents your style. You will work in a real-life, collaborative design studio setting and be given space to explore, develop, create, and present your design concepts, execute technical drawings, and curate your materials choices using our fully stocked sample library. We can't wait to show you around.
The fashion and costume design area comprises of a large double studio, which caters for students working in fashion and costume of all sorts. Everything from streetwear to high-end fashion through to costume for screen, stage and events can be produced here. The studio is beautifully equipped with 2 large cutting and measuring tables for pattern making, whereas the main studio offers both domestic and industrial sewing machines, buttonhole, button sole, baby locker, overlocker, blind hem, manual kick press for eyelets and studs, and more. Let me now introduce you to Jane Parker. We're honoured to have Jane as our head of fashion. She's a fashion legend and Australian Fashion Hall of Fame recipient, a designer who creates a quintessential Australian style with a passion for quality and excellent design. Jane worked alongside her brother Stephen Bennett to build the iconic Australian brand Country Road.
Hello and welcome to one of the best equipped design studios I've ever worked in. Here, in this naturally lit studio, you will work side by side with an experienced team of educators. Our goal is to nurture, develop and guide your talents into real-world design outcomes. We encourage you to discover, observe, test and reflect, to build a war chest of knowledge to express your own point of view. We equip you with skills to craft a form, balance a proportion and apply harmony in colour and texture to your designs. Our trade is fashion and costume. Our passion is to share our extensive and up-to-date knowledge with you. Come join us.
Thank you, Jane. Our fashion students really do make amazing work. Here's a video from our 2019 graduate Virginia Anzella. Privileges of working in admissions is seeing the art and design of upcoming artists. So give us a call and arrange a personal tour, show us the sorts of work you've been doing, and we'd be delighted to discuss your work and talk you through what our program could offer you as an individual artist. Skills that build on your current strengths, but also new ones that help forge new creative and professional skills to propel you forward into new and exciting opportunities. If this appeals to you, please don't be shy to contact us. LCI Melbourne is a supportive creative environment, and by calling or coming in as a guest, I guarantee that you'll leave with some exciting new ideas about your current work and some really great inspiration for future prospects that will propel you forwards. Hope to see you soon. Best of luck with your creative work, and don't forget, we'd love you to share it with us.
Well, how incredible is that? Now you actually understand why we all love being part of LCI every single day. So as Garrick mentioned at the beginning, you can post questions. So we've got a lot of questions coming through. So thank you, everybody. Keep them coming. We're going to try and get to all of them. But I'm just going to let you know that if we don't get to all the questions, please don't worry, because we'll give you all the details of how to email us, text us, phone us, and you can contact our admissions advisors, one of our mentors, or please feel free to call me as well, because we're all here to hear what you want, hear your questions, and to help you decide on the best course for you. So I'm going to go through some of these questions. There's a few questions around ATAR. And what people are studying. So number one, do you need an ATAR? We don't believe you do. We believe ATAR is a number, but it doesn't actually show your creative prowess. Yes, of course, you have to have Year 12 equivalent to come into a degree, but there are many ways you can do that. So if you haven't actually finished HSC or VCE, you can contact us and we'll tell you whether you've got everything that is needed for that. So no ATAR actually required to come to any program at LCI, but we do look for your academic and creative prowess and that you will be suited to the program. Another one of the questions is around portfolio. So if you're studying a particular creative subject, do you need a portfolio that you've done at school? That's a really good start. But actually, do you know what it's really, what we love seeing? We love seeing your creative ideas that maybe you also didn't do at school. So don't just be focused on your schoolwork. I think Michael was talking about it before when he was saying what you need to put in a portfolio. You must keep a sketchbook maybe next to your bed or in your bag, and you fill it all the time. And you may think they're just rough little sketches or tear sheets of ideas. Do you know, we love that. We love to know about your creative way of thinking. So bring that along as well as your more polished portfolio, and that will help us. Do you want to ask, if there's a question there about what mode of delivery, do you want to, so I look at that one?
So the question was, can I start my course online and then change to face-to-face? And that is an absolute yes, you can. We are quite flexible with the way that we structure our program, and we do definitely like to tailor to everyone's individual needs. So obviously, depending on whether or not you're in our state, face-to-face, you can definitely come on campus, but you can also have the choice of a blended study as well. So if you were working and you wanted to be able to watch some of your tutes online, and then come into campus to do your practical work, we can definitely work that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you might start in one mode and then want to move to a different mode. So
and
again,
you can change back too, if that
so
suits you as well.
It's about you as an individual and how we support you. There's a question about if I choose fashion as a sub-major, will I get the opportunity to maybe specialise in costume design for theatrical and performance companies? Yes, absolutely. So within the fashion and costume design major, you get choice. You can either focus on more fashion orientated briefs or more costume orientated briefs. And you do learn the essentials of how to do pattern making and production and making. But by the time you get to the end of your degree in that final trimester, you put together your own proposal of what you want to do. We also have a number of opportunities for work placements and internships, and because our staff are so well connected, that is a great way of us helping you find a really great placement in your industry. So if you love costume design, we could work with a number of the different theatre or film companies that are based out of Melbourne for you to be able to work with.
Circus Oz is just down the road as well.
Yeah, we've got heaps of fantastic opportunities here. But even if you're interstate and you're studying with us online, we're networked all across Australia and the world because of our 23 campuses. Question about a double major?
Double major. You can absolutely study a double major. If you were going to finish your first degree, you really loved your sub-major and you wanted to go on and continue with that, that will be 3 trimesters. So you'll be doing the lab 3, 4 and 5 to complete a double major.
Yeah. So you can do it in one, you can get a second degree in 1 year and part-time as well. So, and a lot of our students actually do that. They love the idea that, because they come out so much better equipped. So because we work in a trimester program, you can do our degree in 2 years. So in 3 years, you get 2 degrees. And considering so many institutes offer 1 degree across 3 years, you come out much more highly qualified after a 3-year program.
For the broader portfolio, absolutely.
So a question we've got is around HEX. HEX is actually something that is done mainly through the universities, but we can do fee help. Do you want to talk about fee help?
So HEX and fee help this year have actually fused, and they're the same thing. So fee help, basically the government will cover your tuition for you. When you go into the workforce and earn over a certain amount of money, they'll start taking increments out of your pay. 98% of students
our domestic students
come through using fee help. That's something that we will organise on our end, so you don't have to worry about applying for any of that. We can organise that for you between orientation and census.
Yeah, we take all the stress out, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can I apply for the trimester starting in the next couple of weeks? Yes, obviously you can. We've still got a few places left in each of the programs, I'm hoping, but definitely ring us. We'll work with you. We would love to welcome you on board. And we have such a rich culture here and a great community. So we will definitely be looking to invite you in for June. But I would suggest that you should make contact with the admissions team next week. Great question from Sam. What if I don't have a portfolio?
Not a problem at all, Sam. We do have what we call a pre-selection kit, which is a mini design brief that you get a short amount of time to complete. They're really fun. They're really, really fun. You will be able to get that from your admission advisor. And then it will get reviewed, and then we can let you in on the back of that as well. Yeah.
And you know what I would suggest, Sam, sometimes these things you think they're really stressful, or will I be able to do it? I don't. Again, we're here to advise and support you, so we can talk you through the kind of expectations, but you might even be able to bring in some of your ideas you've got in your sketchbook, and we can actually bounce off those and help you from there. Great question again, and this is probably a good one for you, Zoe, about can I juggle my degree and work?
Yes, absolutely. Anything is possible. It is something that you would probably need to speak to your admissions advisors or me about and work out what is going to be the best option for you, whether it would be part-time study or full-time study. So it's definitely worth the conversation, and please reach out, and I'd love to have a speak to you about that
question all the time from students, because a lot of our students work part-time, and we actually encourage it, especially, you know, it helps support their lifestyle. And this is one of the wonderful things about the virtual classroom, you know, because a lot of our webinars you can watch at your own pace, and a lot of the classes are also recorded. So we try to support our students in so many different ways. And, you know, like we were saying before, we work with the individual. We don't have one rule for everybody. Yes. Jemima's written a great question here. In terms of fashion design, will the practical element of textiles be involved in it, or exclusively designing? That's a great question, because, you know, fashion design is a broad area, as in all design industries. So in all design industries, you've got to understand about the materials that you're using. So definitely textiles will be involved in terms of understanding the textiles, but also the craft and the decorative technique of creating your own concepts is involved in it. Designing is a number of different things. It's from sketching through to using, sometimes you might use digital illustration devices and things like that, through to making and producing and creating. So there's a real breadth to the fashion design and costume design degree, and you will learn all of the elements. Again, by the time you get to your final trimester, you choose where you would like to focus. So if you find your strength is in the making of clothes, that's where we can focus it. But if you really like the conceptual side or the trend side, we can also focus on that. So we'll again work with you on what your strengths are. But it might be a good idea if you've got specific questions around fashion, give us a call and we can put you in touch with the mentors in that area. What are the benefits of going to LCI instead of a large university? I could jump in there because I worked for 25 years in a large university. So even though I'm not a student, I do know the experience is quite different. And I think there's a real need for universities. They're very much they're doing a really great job around being research focused and things like that. The difference here is that it is more intimate, more personal. It's more focused on the individual. Because we've got smaller cohorts of students and larger cohorts of teachers or mentors, it means you do get more one-on-one time. Also, the breadth of expertise across our team and our industry networks means that you are so much more connected to what your strengths are. So we actually help work with you. And we're really industry facing. So we don't have the really strong focus on research. All of our staff are still experts in the field. They're still engaged with what's called scholarship, which is building up their knowledge and expertise. But that expertise sits in industry expertise. So I suppose the difference is also we have a really strong focus on where you go post LCI and making sure you get there. I think that answers the question.
And I believe it is that community feel.
Yeah.
Your mentors are going to be your peers by the end of your degree. They're going to help you, be placed in other jobs. We keep, we have alumni coming and doing exhibitions in the gallery, and we are a really close-knit creative family, and I think that's the beauty about this institution for sure.
Absolutely. We've got a bit of a line that we use to describe ourselves called play with purpose or design with purpose. So it's about really having fun, enjoying it, being creative, but the purpose is that we're going to make sure that you're employable by the end of it.
And I'm going to also say that some of the larger institutions are nowhere near as flexible as we are. And I think that being able to tailor your degree here to suit your needs is I think incredible. Yeah.
Okay, another one from Anonymous. So, how well suited is the course to mature age professional working, and mainly in terms of mandatory time spent on site? I think that's a great question, actually, and it depends what you call mature age, but we've got students here from 18 into their 60s, and we welcome absolutely everybody. We've got people from diversity is something that we are really proud of, that we engage with. So whether it be diversity across all platforms or across all areas. And you're a professional, so you're going to actually have to balance life and probably family and a whole lot of other things as well. There is no mandatory time having to be spent on site, because you could actually do the whole program within the virtual space if you wanted to. But a lot of people decide they like to come in for elements of it. So in terms of making it flexible, you could do part-time, you could do it full-time, or we can work out what is the best model that's going to work for you. Again, that's probably a really individual situation, and we can map that out and show you what it looks like. Will I need expensive equipment for film and photography? My camera is simple. You will love Max, who teaches into our film and photography. Max is the is absolutely brilliant at teaching people even how to do magic on a mobile phone. He teaches all of our students in the workshop how to create the most incredible things on a mobile phone. Julie does that with the photography workshops. But we have equipment here. But also the other thing is, because we are so closely linked with industry, if you are a professional photographer, you might have one or at the most a couple of cameras, but you're not going to have the full gamut of everything you need. Now, we've got a beautiful photography studio here with a cyclorama, and we've got a lot of equipment you can use. So of course, we make those resources available to our students. But we also work out with our network of contacts, so we can go into studios and work with them, and we can hire things. So we've got a whole way of working that is putting you in a professional photography experience. And how do we help you make sure that you can create in that field? That's a great question too. Do you want to do that one? Can I come in and use the studios when I don't have classes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So the campus is open from 8:30 till usually 6 every evening, but we love it here so much that we are usually sometimes here till 8 o'clock at night. You are more than welcome to come in and use the facilities if there is no classes being taught in those rooms.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We will find space for you as well. So we have staff at the moment, of course, because of COVID-19, we've got a skeleton staff available, but we do have staff here. And if you want to have access to facilities, you will find there are staff here a lot of the time. So as long as there's a staff member here, you can be here. And so the studios are opened up. There's a great question. I might pull Michael in on this one because Michael knows the answer. Can I pull you in, Michael? Is visual arts just painting and drawing? And my work, because my work is more experimental. So Michael you met Michael before. He's our creative director here on campus, but he is also an Archibald Prize finalist. He's actively engaged in the creative industries, and he works in our visual arts area. So,
to answer the question, that is a really great question. I would say that we have a really amazing balance between kind of traditional art forms of people doing painting or drawing or sculpture, and then you've got people who are doing completely like out of the box types of artworks, really, really creative stuff. We had a student come in and do her final display last week. She did it for a small group of about 5 students, and there were a couple of teachers who came in just to see the work and assess it. She took over our car park, which was quite empty on the day. She set up a sprinkler system and a projector which projected through it, and then you could walk through the sprinkled water which came down like this fine mist. And you walked through it, and it was absolutely amazing. And we ended up having staff going in there all day and would just spend the time in there listening to the sounds which were playing, watching the projections, and it was a really moving, amazing artwork. We have lots of students who do projection art. We have lots of students who do installation art. We have a lot of students who do videography as their artwork. So we are open to basically any medium that you're interested in. And one thing that we try to do is we try to balance teaching skill of how to use the equipment or how to make installation or how to do drawing or how to do painting, but we balance that really well with finding what our students really love and then tapping into that and giving them the strength to be able to what they do with that.
Yeah, so the answer is the world's your oyster, you know, whatever. I love the fact that you're experimental. I think that you would thrive here because we encourage experimental. Our staff are fully versed in a number of different mediums and ways. So we've got sculptural artists, we've got curators, we've got a whole lot of people on our team in the visual arts field, plus across the whole breadth of the institute, where we've got people who understand film, photography, materiality, space, and you get access to any of those as your mentor.
I might just comment on this next. It's not a question, it is a statement. Someone has said, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say I'm loving the outfits, ladies. Thanks, Talina. If you think that our Dean dresses amazingly, you should see what some of our students dress like.
Yes, I'm an advocate, by the way, for Australian design. I try to support Australian designers as much as I possibly can, and I love wearing our students' work. So I will buy pieces from the students. So if you're into fashion, Talina, I would love to be wearing something of yours one day.
I might answer the next one also. So someone's asked, how useful is a degree from LCI, especially considering that everyone I tell about my thinking of doing an art degree says that art isn't a viable career. So I've had a really successful career as an artist, but if I was to say that that's a normal thing, that wouldn't be entirely true. You need to be a really good thinker at doing business, entrepreneurship. You've got to have an understanding about design. You've got to have an understanding about a lot of things other than just art to successfully make it as an artist or designer. And one of the things that we're really proud about is that we train our students to think entrepreneurially about what they do, to be connected with industry, to have an idea about how to market yourself and do all of those things. All of our students do professional placements with galleries or design firms or fashion studios, so they get networks through that. So that's a jumping point for you guys. But one really amazing thing is that we really also push business skills with you guys. So you get an understanding of the realistic ways to not just build your talent as an artist, but also to build your career.
Yeah, so, you know, we teach students how to basically run your own business as well. And that, to many of you who are creative, you go, oh, I don't know, is that going to be boring? But don't worry, it's not boring. Our staff who teach it are absolutely awesome. And it's also one of the reasons for the placements. A lot of our students get their actual job opportunities through doing their placements and internships. But, you know, that's a thing we hear all the time. Oh, why would you want to do art or design? Where's the future? Where, you know, do you know these days there's now, you know, such a demand for creative and conceptual thinkers. We're going through a really terrible moment around the world with this pandemic, but actually that is the problem. Where are the solutions? And the solutions come from creative thinkers, from new designs, from new concepts. And large-scale companies, there's companies like, they're big accounting firms called Deloitte, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers. They now all employ creative directors because they see that it's absolutely important to have people on their teams who understand this kind of much more conceptual and creative thinking. So we are thrilled that the world is now seeing the real value and importance of the arts and the creative industries. Can I take the next one?
Yeah.
Or do you, it's for, part of my portfolio includes furniture design and creation. Do I photograph this with sketches for inclusion in a portfolio rather than bring the piece in? Wondering how we'd include larger pieces in our portfolio. What a great question. This happens again for anyone who's doing installation art, fashion as well. You know, how do you bring a collection of pieces in? Photography is absolutely fine, absolutely fine. Bring your developmental ideas in with it. And no, you don't have to lug your furniture in here at all. So we don't expect that. But bring what you can to show your process and then what the final pieces do look like.
We might bring Zoe back for the next question. This is one that directly relates to her and a really good one. Good question.
So I'll read it out just while Zoe's taking a seat. So mental health is really important aspect of studying. Couldn't agree more, especially with everything new. And, you know, for 18, 19-year-olds who experience all this change, how strong is the mental health support, LCI? What a fantastic question and a great one to absolutely ask, yeah.
So as I said when we were talking to Karen before, you know, my main priority is the well-being of the student and the success of the student. And I believe that, you know, I really would love all of you that do apply with us to be really transparent with me in regards to this, so I can put in a really strong support plan for you, not only just on campus and how we go about your study plan, but we also have an external amazing company that can support you with your mental health as well. We are also looking into doing some wonderful seminars next trimester, and some well-being like yoga back on campus again too. So
if you've got serious concerns, we also have access to free counselling.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Because we're not all experts in the field of mental health, and we don't, but we're here to support you. And also, a lot of creative people are really sensitive people, and they get impacted by experiences in a different way, and we're really mindful of that. So that's one of the wonderful things about coming to Institute, that is a community and where people look out for you and are here to support you. So we've got a whole lot of amazing strategies, and it might be, Zoe is absolutely brilliant with the students and her team, absolutely fantastic. But it might be that you really connect with one of the academics, the mentors. Every one of us is trained with being able to support our students in this field. I love the next question. If I do fashion, would you help me make a video of my designs like the one we saw before? Absolutely. That's exactly what we do. And our whole team do that. And we get film and photography students working with fashion students, we get interior students working with visual artists, and across the board, the graphic design students will help the fashion students design their swing tags and their labels and their promotional material. So we actually are about communities, because you're going to make friends here, you're going to make connections that you're going to have for absolutely the rest of your life. But also, because if you take fashion as your major, you can take film and photography, what we call, as a sub-major. So you actually can do both and join it together. A lot of students are doing that these days because they want to be able to work in the social media space. So if you were a fashion blogger, how do you put all of that together? Well, if you know how to photograph and you know how to create fashion, it actually helps it all come together. William's question is a good one too. Hi, I was wondering about the photography and filmmaking course. How much of the course is spent on each part, and does doing both in the one course affect how much you learn in photography and filmmaking? So that's a great question. William, what will happen is when you first come in, you'll learn the essentials of both, because you won't know yet whether you're really going to be awesome at photography or at filmmaking, or you might know a bit because you've probably already got an interest in it. But you do learn about both in the early parts. As you move through your degree, if you go, I absolutely love filmmaking, but I don't really want to focus on the stills and the photography, that's fine. We will actually then build the project brief so that in the outputs you can focus on filmmaking. And certainly by the last trimester, you can actually really just 100% focus on filmmaking. We do want students to be equipped in both so they can make that right choice when it comes along. Absolutely. Do you want to take the next one?
The one that you covered. Yeah. If I was to get a degree from LCI, would it be recognised in traditional universities, accredited awards, and of course, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So the question's
so
about
fully accredited.
We are, yes, we're an accredited degree course here in Australia. We've got a regulator that regulates all degrees in Australia. So it's absolutely, Australia actually has the toughest regulation probably in the world when it comes to education. And that's a really good thing, because that when you study in Australia, you're getting a very, very high quality degree. So yes, we are recognised globally, and also we have the opportunity for pathways, both here and Australia and around the world. We have a number of different relationships with recognised universities. So if you wanted to go and study somewhere else, we might already have a pathway arrangement with that institute and some of the very well-known ones globally. including our own. So you might want to do your undergraduate here and do your master's in Barcelona. I might have to come with you just to see that side, but you know, you can do that here as well.
Do you have any tips on if I wanted to apply and if I was nervous about the interview?
Oh, yeah.
I've never done an interview and shown my folio, so it's scary.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
My biggest tip is to do not be scared. We're really lovely people. And all we really want to do is see what you're passionate about. So yes, I don't think too much into what you think we want to hear, but I really think dig deep into why you created those pieces of work, and it's going to come naturally to you. You know, obviously, design is really, really personal. You've created your work for a personal reason, and I think that if you have that connection, it's not going to be a problem being able to talk about it.
But, you know, bring someone with you. So when you talk to the admissions advisor, maybe someone in your family, a friend who you feel comfortable with and is your kind of has your back, you know, is your support person. If you want to bring someone with you, you know, because we've got a family type of atmosphere here or community atmosphere, we like it if you bring your friends or your family in. We actually invite them in. We appreciate it. Absolutely. I'm going to share something with you, and so we might get a little bit upset, but, you know, when we were doing this today for our virtual open day, Zoe was really nervous because Zoe doesn't do a lot of public speaking or presentation. I've got to say, I was a bit nervous as well. And I said to Zoe, if you're not nervous, there'd be something wrong. Because when you're doing something you're passionate about, when you're really proud about what you do, and it's really, really important to you, you're meant to be a bit nervous. You're meant to actually have a bit of that adrenaline rush. So I actually really love the fact that you're brave enough to say that you're nervous about this, because it's actually how you're meant to feel. If you came in here all bold and confident and weren't nervous, I'd say, are you really passionate about your work? So it's actually a good thing to be.
Another thing you could also do is come and have a campus tour, meet the staff, build a relationship, and then come back and do your interview after you have met the staff, because I think that will also
what a brilliant
calm
idea.
the nerves as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, when we are allowed to have, you know, people back on campus, but come and definitely talk to one of the admissions advisors this week, and we can actually set anything up. And if you want to bring family or friends through on the campus tour,
everyone's
more than welcome. Yeah. So if my drawing isn't so great, but I love fashion, will I be okay to join? We're going to teach you how to draw, because a hint, you know, I studied fashion many, many years ago, and I was told I couldn't draw. And I actually ended up heading up a fashion programs, you know, so we teach you that, and there's a whole lot of ways of doing it. There's also a lot of different ways of communicating. Drawing isn't the only way that you communicate ideas. And if you bring your portfolio in, and you could actually bring in 2 or 3 times, you could actually come in and see some of us and say, this is what I've got at the moment. What do you think I need to do to add to it? And we'll give you some hints and tricks on what you can do to build your portfolio to show it. But you might also create some mood boards or do some collage, or so maybe you just haven't discovered yet the best way for you to be able to communicate your work. But that's why you come to somewhere like us, is to learn those things. Will I be in class every day of the week?
No, you won't. So a full-time study load is 15 hours a week on campus. In saying that, we do suggest that you mirror your homework as well. So there will be a lot of practical work that you will need to be working on outside those hours.
Yeah, it's a full-time load, so you would expect that it's like if you had a full-time job.
Yeah.
But you're only on campus 3 days, 15 hours a week.
15
so it could
hours
be a day and a half, or, you know, it could be split over. We try not to have anyone coming in more than 3 days over a 3-day period. Most students are here on a 2-day. Saying that, most students are also here 5 days because they don't want to leave. That's true. And they love coming in and meeting, talking to everyone and using the facilities. So, you know, when you're doing homework and that, you can also use all the resources and facilities to do your work. So I think we're having to, I can't believe we have so many questions there and we didn't get to answer all of them. And we didn't choose the most important ones or anything. There were so many absolutely amazing questions. So what I'm going to really ask you to do, because we're going to have to start to close this up now, is please contact us. Up on the screen at the moment are phone numbers. You can text us, however you feel most comfortable. You can email us at admissions@lcimelbourne.edu.au. You can go onto our website and you can apply directly. So there's a whole lot of ways that you can connect. But we obviously, by how many questions are pouring through there, we've obviously had a lot of you watching today, so we absolutely appreciate it. We're definitely here for you. We can't wait to meet you, whether it be virtually or in person. And we would love to answer those questions for you. So let them pour in, and we thank you. And I thank all of the team. What a great team we've got, huh? So it's a great place. So thank you very much for coming and listening to us on our virtual open day.